give us a sense of what happened as far as the 5 games that took place in the Betway Premiership. And I'm in no better hands than the two that are sitting right here with me in the studio, two former professional footballers in Simpiwe Zulu, who played for Banyana, captained the nation as well, 3 Africa Cup of Nations under her belt, and at the far post, Bongani Kumalo, a World Cup player for Bafana, and also ex-Supersport United winner and Betway Premiership champion in his days in that Supersport United jersey. So, now that the credentials are out of the way, let's get into the action that took place tonight. And Shorty, it's a night that was thin on goals, but big results.
Yeah, big results and in critical phases of the game, because everybody's thinking, okay, let's settle for a draw, but not what Durban City is looking at, not what Chiefs is looking at, and certainly not what, a TS Galaxy was expecting from Eskukun as well. So that tells you, concentration lapsing is something that is happening a lot more in these teams, because we also saw yesterday Pirates, they conceded that last goal in the 90-plus moment. So it means this is something that teams need to look at.
Nah, Likosi, this is how they take the lead. And Frosler is ultimately the man who is credited with the assist here. But Nkaki in goal, he just can't clear there, Bongani. That's your position. And he gives it back into the danger.
Yeah, unfortunately it falls to him quite awkwardly, and he can't sort of sort out his feet to at least clear the box. I mean, as a minimum, just, get it as high as you can. But you can understand, obviously, it's fallen on his left foot. He looks really uncomfortable. He does well to obviously shift his body in terms of the ball going over. He turns his body, great positioning, but he just does not get the contact he needs. And obviously Frosler, just having to bring it back into an area, he gets a second bite, and Ndlovu came on as a substitute and does well to finish.
I'm trying to think, what could he have done better here? It's an awkward height. He hasn't really got a boot to it. It's hit him on the shin. It comes out to Frosler, and then Ndlovu opens his account as a Kaizer Chiefs player. There are the stats for you. And after you look at those stats, you would say Chiefs deserved winners?
To some extent, deserved winners, because they kept it clean, for themselves. Because, last season, clean sheets, third
clean sheet in a row, man. So they're keeping you quiet.
So it's important for them to understand, but we might not win it in important parts of the game, but the most critical is scoring goals, because Ndlovu comes in as a sub. The 4 players that came in as subs are the ones that created that goal. So the timing of the subs as well from the coaches was important for them. Because you look at Marco was there, Modi was there, Frosler was there, Ndlovu was there. Ndlovu, the last time he scored in the PSL match actually was against Chiefs, that 4-1 win in Supersport. So Uchimile, when he's in the vicinity of Chiefs, so now at least he's doing it for Chiefs, and he came in and stabilized that midfield as well.
The goal came from the bench.
Yeah, and that's been the theme. If you look at all the fixtures. Because it's the beginning of the season, obviously coaches are still figuring out what their best 11 is. So you'll see a lot of these influences, as players coming off the bench, because players want to put their hands up and want to be the main man going forward. So that's the theme that we've seen today.
I'm interested here, because with Coach Nabi being away, how much of an influence is the coach having on the bench, on how the game is going? Is he involved even in the game right now? I mean, you could be watching and being on the phone. How does this thing work when your head coach is away, but possibly still able to be involved?
They probably do go on a conference call with him to say, okay, this is how we've been building up, and this is the lineup, do you approve, and all of that, and he'll remind them, be wary of this, and he'll give them pointers. But I don't think Guti, he gets on a call at halftime to say, take out this one and do that, because then it means he doesn't believe in his technical team, in a red card, him being sick, and, so it means that they also understand what needs to happen, when it comes to that. How did they win the cup that they won? They won it as well, with him being in and out and things like that. So it just shows you, there's a bit of continuity when it comes to that. They didn't change too much, because sometimes I'm assistant coach Malcolm and they're in charge. But there's continuity, because you must account and you must answer. How does he also rectify or improve what you guys have been building on?
And the important thing is that the machinery has kept on going at Kaizer Chiefs. Without the coach, 6 points.
Yeah, and what's encouraging is that it got better in the second half. So clearly, whatever was said in the change room worked. Because now you're seeing players now using that grass, expanding, passes being long. Mo came on very direct, very aggressive in his passing, and that sort of gave him that positive momentum.
2 matches in a row, though, where Aiden McCarthy is the man of the match, a defensive player. What's that telling you?
He's left-footed, playing as a left centre-back, which means that everything that he's looking at, he takes defenders to the line, to his strong foot. He's a good tackler. We saw him also in the previous game and this game as well. And when he steps out, he's making sure to push the attacker away from goals. He's been there for the headers. He doesn't make clumsy mistakes as well, which is something that Chiefs have been struggling with, especially with the centre-back pairings. Cross comes out and Marco comes in. He continues. He doesn't care who's coming in to change. So that's something that Chiefs have been missing for a long time.
Lilepo probably would have also raised his hand up today.
Yeah, he did. I mean, look, to be fair to him, he scored 4 goals in his past 5 league games. So he's been very effective for them. Today, not so much. A lot of the time, he hangs out on the left a little bit too much for me. He needs to get a little bit more involved. Today, he spent more time on the right. Not a lot of joy. But in the first half, I mean, that header was fantastic. He did everything right. Textbook, especially on the back foot. Wonderful leap. Just unlucky.
Seeing Kaizer Chiefs where they are after 2 games, good for South African football. That's the sentiment that in football everyone has.
It's very good. It's very good, but it's important, for the players to keep their feet on the ground. It's a long season. It's not a cup competition. So as much as there's joy and there's ease in terms of how they've started, there's still a lot of work to be done, if you're honest. The performances against Stellenbosch, that wasn't a great performance, but a wonderful result. Today, first half, not great. Second half, a lot better. So there are signs that something is brewing, but it's important that they remain calm and most importantly, stick together and see it through.
And the interesting thing is that the things are brewing without your new signings yet. I mean, Chislett hasn't had his opportunity. Flavio Silva yet hasn't got in. Shinga hasn't yet had the opportunity to play. So there's still a bit of thinking to be done, and potentially Chiefs can get better with those new signings.
Remember, they also didn't get rid of a lot of their players, so they're building on top of the squad that they had, because when Coach Nabi came in, he was trying to rebuild what Kaizer Chiefs is as a giant, so you don't come in and try to rebuild every season with new players coming in, because you're still building a winning culture of Kaizer Chiefs. So that cup win for them gave them the strength to show them we can actually do this as much as, and they played the big guns. They beat Pirates, they beat Sundowns, they beat all the big teams. So that tells you, Guti, they're a team that is able to build on something concrete, and it's wise for them not to be chopping and changing, where else they are building a culture of winning.
Bongs, when you look at the league and a potential assault on a league title for Kaizer Chiefs this season, or a really good finish for them, good or bad that they're not playing this weekend when it comes to the MTN 8?
No, I think it helps them, to be fair, because obviously you heard the assistant coach talking about the quick turnaround, 3 days, whatever it is. So now you can go into the weekend break calm. There's no pressure. You got things to build on. You can work on things, and you can get better. And most importantly, your players can just claw back a little bit of confidence, because last season did not go well at all. You can see some players still had the residue of last season, not showing up in sensitive areas, perhaps a little bit afraid to show when there's pressure, because you don't want to lose the ball and get the crowd on your back. So all of these things now start to fall away, rebuild the confidence, rebuild the club. And let's be honest, the season just started. You don't have back-to-back games. That puts a lot of strain and pressure on everybody. And you have to rotate and hope that your rotation still keeps the teams afloat and still keeps teams sort of within challenging positions. So with this little break, a couple of wins, it's nothing new. They started last season in this fashion. So stay humble, keep on working, and perhaps they could pose a threat.
And I'm also loving what you guys are saying on hashtag SSDski. The glory days are back. I just saw that tweet come through. And I'm looking here at this one that says, give us our league. This one belongs to Naturina. They're not waiting for you. They're not, Shorty, they're not waiting. They're not waiting for, no, give us 5 games. People are crowning themselves champions already.
Enjoy it whilst it still lasts, and continue building on that joy, because they had a tough season, a tough couple of years. Taking more than 9 years for you to win a cup. And this is a team that has supporters that are always at the game. They're supporting from all over South Africa. Where Chiefs plays, they fill up the stadiums and all of that. Now, it must be complemented by this.
Anytime while it lasts.
No, what I'm saying is, while it lasts now, but in
while it lasts,
maybe let's long tlamele ba thabe ha nako isa le teng, ene ba etse bonnete ba go ba eleletsa nako e ntse ya pele, 1 game at a time. Ha ile break tjena ba tswelle pele ba lokise dintho, coach o teng ha ba tswelle pele, because le ke football ya tla. So tlamele ba ntse ba re hanyane di clean sheet ra di thabela, hona le consistency e more. So it's not while it lasts as if I'm wishing them bad. No,
this tweet is for you. A lot has been said, but hey, avukile
Awahlale lapha phezulu, awavuka ahlale lapha phezulu.
Let's go a look at what happened with Durban City down at Chatsworth, where they waited late to get the goal. And down that left-hand side, it was the delivery that was absolutely perfect from Luamba to find Kamatuka.
Yeah, classic. I mean, look at that. Direct ball, in, out, back in again. You know, you move defenders, you turn defenders around with the cross back into the box. Very difficult to defend situations like that, because obviously, you know, with crosses, you force defenders to sort of have to defend their blind side. And if the ball has any sort of quality in between defenders and goalkeepers, you always have a chance.
Tight game, but if you are Chippa United, you don't have a shot on target. It's very difficult to score without one.
It's very bad. Actually, it's very bad when you are anticipating that Chippa might be a team that keeps possession. But is it the coach that we were anticipating he's going to bring in the culture of keeping possession more than the quality of the players that he has in the team to do that? Because we said it, against Sundowns, they were sitting deep, defending a lot more. It's not easy to get out of your mark against a Durban City team that knows how to play. I mean, Kamatuka has been there over 3 seasons with Durban City, and he's been scoring goals.
We did say that there was a contrast when it came to the coaching staff in this one, but Dela, brand new to top division football, only 35 years of age. And on the other side, Gavin Hunt, a man with 4 league titles to his name and over 1,000 games in the Betway Premiership. He's the man to talk to us right now to give us his view on the 1-0 victory, which has taken him to the top of the table, tied on Kaizer Chiefs and 3 other sides. But because of the alphabetical order, that D comes very early on the alphabet. They're top of the log.
Coach, another win for your side. How proud are you of the boys this evening?
Well, I mean, you know, it was a hell of it's a fight, you know. You don't expect that from a chipper with the way they want to play. I mean, it's a fight, you know. It was a battle. It was a real second ball game. They're knocking it long all the time and then playing off that. And so we had to take care of it, and they're closing us down at 100 miles an hour. So you got to give them credit, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's you know, for the way they play, it's difficult to handle, and we handle it well, the back four. And then, but we just didn't have that final pass tonight around the edge of the box because of their aggressiveness, and fair play to them, you know. You've got to give the opposition credit. They came here away from home and they really battled against us. So, and I said to them at half time, this is not a football match, this is a fight, you know, and we can win this fight. It'll fall for us, and we got chances, and we could have, the first stop, you know, we had a couple of good opportunities there. But, you know, it's a little step forward, and, you know, we try and create a little bit of momentum. Hopefully we've got a couple of days now and try and go again. But, yeah, it's a couple of points more, but, you know, it's a long way to go.
And Coach, you speak about, you know, winning your duels, and that's what your team did here tonight. How proud are you of the boys, and how can you build forward with this result here?
Well, it's, you know, every football match is not going to be like this, where it's I mean, it's a physical fight with them. There was a real battle. I mean, with Sibi and then Mosolele in the midfield, they kick anything that moves, you know, and they did. And fair play to them. They got stuck into us, and we couldn't move. So, you know, it shows another side of the team. You know, but I always say to you, you've got to be very careful of promoted teams. I've been with 3 already. You have a huge upsurge at the beginning, and then you have a drop-off, and we can't afford a drop-off because, you know, we've got to be better the quality. But we'll get better. You know, there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of work on the train, and the only thing you can on the training ground, I can only work on the training ground and work on things, and you know, and that's all we can do.
Coach, your man of the match, Hashim Domingo, had a lot of opportunities, but he also made the team play. How proud are you of him, considering that where he comes from?
Well, they always tell me he couldn't play 90 minutes, but when he played for me before, he played 90 minutes. So I don't know where he's been the last couple of years, but let's leave it at that. You know, he's a fantastic player. You know, we got the data, we haven't even used it tonight. Tonight I thought it was a game for him, and I just thought, you know, he'll come, and we just got Kuruman in today. He's a good player, and he'll do well for us. I mean, just watch him at training yesterday. So, yeah, it adds. So we got 17, 18 now that we can try and work with. But we need to settle down a bit now and try and get away, you know, and find our way of playing, you know.
Coach, congratulations on the victory. All the best for the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So many compliments from Gavin Hunt about the way the Chippa played. I mean, the aggression, they get stuck in 100 miles an hour, they kick anything that moves. It looks like a game that we potentially needed to have a closer eye on.
100%. And I think obviously Chippa would have done their homework, understanding, you know, what Gavin Hunt demands of his teams. And if you can match that aggression, you know, a lot of the time you might get something out of it. So unfortunately, it's quite interesting that Chippa didn't. So be interesting to watch the game backwards to watch what exactly went wrong for Chipa.
Coach Badela clearly bringing something else, a little bit of bite to a cheaper side that we always know can play pretty football.
I think he's trying to condition his team to say that as much as we keep possession, we must be able to alternate and be aggressive in how we want to play. It's just a pity they couldn't establish themselves after, trying to bring in the fear, which is so that they're able to, play their type of football. I'm a long ball. It's not, what a coach Badela. That's why I need to influence your coach. I gotta feed 100% to the team.
Let's move on and take a look at the influence of the goal scorers in the remaining games in the Betway Premiership. And this is how the match was settled between Skokuni and TS Galaxy. And if you look at it here, Ohizu replaced 60 minutes in, Bradley Grobler comes in. Then, look at the work from Mtambo here on the right-hand side, and then Vuyo Letlapa with the shot, Bradley lurking.
Yeah, Brad's been doing this for years. Even in that first phase, you can see he's already moving before the ball is even being played into an area, and that's what I've loved about Bradley for many years. Is he's a striker where whenever the ball's in wide positions, he expects to score. A lot of the time, strikers, the ball's wide, you look at the box, and it's hoping. You stand behind a defender, and no one's going to pick you out. But with Bradley, he gets his body in front, he gets his shoulder in front, he stays alive within that area, and 9 times out of 10, the ball falls for him.
Ira did so well to keep that Letlapa shot out, but he couldn't put it in a position where Bradley Grobler couldn't pounce on it. And again, Galaxy had looked at that and said, we had the majority of the shots on target. We in fact created the majority of the attempts in the match, but we've ended up on the wrong side of this one. And now for a second time in a row against Skokuni, they've gone and maybe potentially been the better side, but not one.
Yeah, maybe the better side, but not one. Also, you need to ask yourself, is the coach Adnan looking at individual aspects of players who's Kukun, which players punished me? It's almost the same players. Grobler was there in the cup game they played, and he punished him as well with what? Aerial balls, crosses coming in. So it means now he needed to go back and see where do we close the supply so that Grobler doesn't get Umtambo Magangena, whether he starts or he comes in, the influence, Mahalwa as well.
Proving to be important, Bradley Grobler, for Skokuni, they need to keep him fit.
Yeah, and look, if he stays fit, you're going to get goals. And obviously, he's come on as a sub as well, so it's quite interesting that, obviously, something TS Galaxy, to be fair, let him go, because there was contact. As soon as the ball goes wide, there was contact on him, if you watch it play again. But off the goalkeeper, rebound, that makes it really, really difficult. But, he's a goal poacher, and he's been doing it for many, many years, and he'll probably get double figures should he stay fit again.
Busy over the weekend, Shorty, Skokuni.
Yeah, busy over the weekend. And you look at them, they're a team that is sure of their football. And Eric Tinkler is also,
But is there a squad that can carry this much football? They've now played 88, then they've had a couple of league games. Now they're back in the
They have the template. I think they have the template because they also played Confederation football as well, even the previous season, and they finished in the top 4. They almost finished third, narrowly lost out to Stellenbosch, which means with segment template corner, the changes did not come too many, so there's stability corner Lapan.
Now, if you're a lover of fantastic strikes, this one is a nominee for goal of the season already. Take a look at the new man. He's just coming to the squad. His work permit has been allowed. Junior Dion Tata. What a finish.
It's a good striker. That's a pure example of what it feels like to get your laces fully behind the ball and mean it. And again, strikers that move when the ball is in the air. Look, he comes from an offside position as the ball's travelling, gets himself onside under the ball, and once it falls for him, he expects it to fall in that area. Clear conviction in his finish.
He's coming out. He half has his back against the ball there when he's coming out, thinking, then when he turns, what is that?
A striker knows that the goals don't move. It's the ball and the people that are moving. So him understanding Guti and how he comes out, he's not sprinting and all of that. He's just re-establishing a position of power, which is good.
Look at 15 attempts, but only 2 on target. And then Napa, Golden Arrows, 2 attempts, 1 in the back of the net.
The only shot that mattered the most, it's that one.
And what a strike. An important goal for Coach Mangola.
Important goal for him because he trickled with the squad in the previous serious match because it's the first game. He wanted to see what would happen against Siwelele, and it didn't profit as much. He went back to say, I need a top striker that's going to be there to be a reference point, who can go up aerially, who can be, against the defenders, because he knows Guti, Ahmad defenders, where Richards Bay, they are lucky as well, and they are not as compatible. So he needed to bring in a reference point, Fananai, because Golden Arrows has true to them, which they always look for good strikers. Nox Mutizwa, Maputi Kanyeza, those are the strikers that are always in that team.
Now, the football doesn't end. Yes, the Betway Premiership is over. Thank you very much, Bombs. Thank you very much, Shorty. But there is still